Hola, hola. Bienvenidos a Esperanza, Vence, donde la Esperanza Vence. Welcome to Esperanza Vence, where hope wins. Today we're pulling in the energies of this upcoming, well, actually of this just passed. It just happened around 12:34 Central Standard Time, which is around where I live. And it was the Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse. And this eclipse season is just usually like moments in time that are delineated by a little bit of stormy weather. Sometimes when a storm comes through, like it shifts around the electromagnetic energy and clears the air. And sometimes when storms roll through, oop, what's this? Oh, Temperance. That's a nice card. Temperance. That's a card of finding divinity through balance. You know, they're able to balance the water with the wine, and the blessings and the beauty comes from being able to take the, moderate path to the pillar of wisdom up the mountain. Those books in the background are books that I wish I was reading. Maybe I will this weekend when I have a little time. Pretty books though, huh? Full moon, lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Oh, I tried to do this live. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and the camera wasn't really working, and it'll probably take like a couple of hours or something to upload this one, but it's okay. But yeah, like I'd never tried to go live before, and on my end, I was trying to turn the camera on, and the camera wasn't on at all, and I don't know, it was weird. So I had to access the camera and the mic to get it to work, and they made me download Chrome to make it to work, and I don't know. I tried. I just I didn't want to make this video before. I wasn't in time or space frame to do it, and plus I wasn't really I don't know, it's just, I guess I just wasn't ready yet. But today I have time and space, and today's the day. Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May, come with me, as they say. What are the energies we're pulling in today? Lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Don't gotta be right, but you gotta be a hoe. You just know what you just know. Tarot, tried and true. What's it say? How do it do? Help me say what I can see. Tarot, talk to me. Lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio is oh, here's one card popped out. The Emperor. That's a card of having your stuff together, your proverbial stuff together. It's a card of a really strong male figure, somebody that has a lot of masculinity and earned masculinity at that, because he's no spring chicken, He's got white hair and a beard and everything, and he could go into battle if he has to, but generally speaking, he can tell other people to do what they need to do to get the empire, keep the empire going. He's a strong Aries energy. But it's a strong energy of having your stuff together. But Scorpio is a zodiac sign that's ruled by, traditionally, I'm not sure, Mars. But nowadays you can say that it's, you know, ruled by Pluto, the planet that deals with like deep transformation, like it's your intestines, like what you what nutrients you're able to keep and what you need to flush out in order to maintain stasis, or even better than stasis, like thriving. If you feel like you're thriving, you probably have a good bioflora. True story. Scorpio is deep sign, an emotional sign, a water sign. Oop. Speaking of Scorpio energy, that could be a King of Cups. That card just jumped out. King of Cups is usually a water sign. A Scorpio could be a Cancer, could be a Pisces. But we were just talking about Scorpio being a water sign, and King of Cups popped out. So to describe this person as a male figure, male energy, in control of their emotions, someone who has enough like love to be able to share their cup with somebody else, or at least do an exchange, like, let me taste your cup, let me taste your cup, you know. And they're generally warm father figures. All right, well, the cards are jumping, I suppose. Well, I suppose. This is us. This is what's crossing us. This is in the near past. This is in the near future. Conscious awareness. Subconscious awareness. How we see ourselves in the situation. How others see us in the situation. Our hopes and fears. And the likely outcome. Okie dokie. Let's see what this Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse has in store for us. Thank you for tuning in. This is us. This is what's crossing us. This is the near past. This is the near future. Conscious awareness. Subconscious awareness. How we see ourselves. How others see us, or what our environment dictates. Hopes and fears. And the likely outcome. Well, we are Six of Swords reversed right now. Six of Swords upright is a card of going from a bad situation to a better situation, or even not necessarily a bad situation, but from chaos to calm. And in the inverse, I feel like we're going from a period of calm to a period of chaos in some way. Like some things are getting shook up right now. As a challenge, we have the Seven of Pentacles upright. Seven of Pentacles is a card of having planted your seeds, but you have to kind of wait for them to bear fruit. You have to hope that the weather cooperates. You have to hope that the heavens cooperate and give enough sunshine and give enough rain. And you have to hope that you remember to do all the weeding properly and do the things that you need to do on time in order for these plants to thrive. So challenging us as Aquarius right now in this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio is to definitely be able to have patience and strategy, but also to be able to take the time while you're waiting for things to happen to get other chores done. It might be a challenge with that shakeup coming in there. And then your past is the Chariot. That's a card of like forward moving action. It's a lot of moon energy happening here because the moon rules the zodiac sign of Cancer, and this is the card that represents that zodiac sign in the major arcana. And this is a card of like being in emotional control so that like the chariot driver can will, you know, the dark and the light to work together to move forward. Like everybody doesn't have to agree necessarily. The direction is just forward, you know. The chariot is somebody who can will action into a situation, not because they're necessarily, you know, this face on this guy, like he's determined, but he's not like stern, you know. Strong heart chakra energy, solar energy. You know, he's got his crown on with the stars and stuff, in tune with his intuition, with these moons and these stars, you know. Chariot energy is fast-moving energy. So in the near past, the past couple of lunation cycles, like things might have been happening faster and faster for us, and we might have been taking some actual willed action on our goal fronts, you know. In the near future, the Emperor jumped in again. That's the next couple of lunation cycles. So up until like maybe June, the Emperor reversed is somebody who is definitely very solid in his own patriarchal wisdom. But in the inverse, this can indicate somebody who is well established in business or in the community, and they might be using their energy in a little bit of a narcissistic or controlling way just because they say so, or they might be making moves and shakes in the community, and they do have their stuff together and they are probably a good person at heart, but they might be acting a little bit egoic at this time with this card reversed. So in the next like week or so up till the next couple of months, May and June, like we might want to just keep our eyes peeled for some established figure in our community or in our family, a patriarch who usually has good control of their masculinity, just maybe not expressing themselves in a positive way right now. You know, just keep the eyes peeled. Conscious awareness is going to be the Page of Cups reverse. Page of Cups is somebody who is just beginning a new start emotionally with themselves or with somebody else, and it's usually a card of getting in touch with yourself though, because the pages are ones that are just getting in touch with their own purity of energy, their own pure form of energy of who they are, which is the water sign, water energy, you know. And the Page of Cups on the inverse could just be somebody who maybe needs to get more in touch. Maybe in our conscious awareness, we might be thinking about getting more in touch with our emotional centers and being able to share. Maybe we're feeling more inward right now during this time of this eclipse. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of events going on this weekend between Cinco de Mayo and people having birthdays and like all kinds of things, but we might be feeling emotionally drained even at this time. You know, the cup's like pouring out at this point. And in our conscious awareness, you know, we might be feeling a little bit emotionally drained at this time. In our subconscious awareness, which is like something that might have happened, like that determines patterns of behavior for us leading into the present day. So this could be stuff that happened in the past, like in the deep past when we were even children, and up till now, patterns that define our thinking or the way that our vibe is right now, or even socially, what has defined a pattern of behavior. And you know, because in big groups we have behavior too, not just as individuals, you know. And since I'm reading for a moon, I'm reading for all of us and all of our collective energy, so that's probably more what it is. But this is Death reverse. Death upright is actually a Scorpio card. This has to do with being dead, you know. Go figure. The death card is like a final ending, you know, either of the life of a project, the life of a soul, the life of a love, the life of a creature, the life of a critter, a life of a sandwich. Like when it's over, it's done. And then it can either be composted, you know, and start new life. Death in the inverse is either, you know, you're working internally on being able to let go of, and you know, whenever I see something in the inverse, I see something flushing out, you know, like his scythe is actually in the upright in this position, the white rose of purity here, you know, and the stuff is just draining out. So in our subconscious awareness, you know, we might be thinking of things that just need to drain out of our focus and drain out of our bodies and our minds and our spirits, you know, like, there might be some and some gunk that needs to get drained. I have an actual drain that needs to get drained, and subconsciously it's been bothering me. And finally today I think I'm going to take some like relative action on this project, but like literally Scorpio season, no better season than to clear the drains, like mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially, you know. How do we see ourselves in this situation? Queen of Rods reversed, Queen of Wands reversed, and the sunflower is an energy that when you shine your light so bright that you cause other things around you to grow, you cause sunshine to be around you, to cause other growth, not just within yourself, but within everything around you. And then, you know, you can even harvest that growth and promote more growth. In the inverse, we might be feeling a little bit stagnated at this time, creatively, especially because wands always have to deal with passions and creativity. I've noticed that recently I personally haven't been posting as many videos and stuff like that. And then like today when I went to, I was a little bit stifled because it wasn't going on when I wanted it to. But I was like, oh well, I guess this video will upload in a little while, and if people want to tune into the full moon Scorpio lunar eclipse energies with me, they're welcome to do that here. It'll reverberate for another, 3 to 6 months anyway, just the way that things play out from now. Pay attention between now and fall. And the reason why people go so bananas, banana pants over these eclipse energies, even though they happen twice a year, well, technically 4 times a year if you count both moons on each side, but like in the spring and then the fall, we deal with obvious shifts in energy, moon wise, astrologically, physically, which affects us mentally and emotionally. But the astrology has to do with the location of the planets, according to our, some astrology is according to the sun's perspective or to other perspectives, but the astrology that a lot of us tune into, which would be Western astrology, tropical astrology, even Vedic astrology, has to do with like the placement of planets, or the transits and their relationships between each other. The planets making aspects to each other, from different perspectives, So, I mean, basically speaking, as far as the Queen of Wands reversed is concerned, we might have been feeling stifled in some areas, even just astrologically, because Mercury just went retrograde in Taurus not that long ago, and on a grand scale, these lunations and these cycles of eclipse season, they're markers in time, they're delineators that sort of let us know that, like, okay, change is coming, and that change usually unfolds over a 6-month period until the next period of change sort of starts to get stirred up again. Just like you till up the ground before you plant your seeds in the fall and the spring. It's just a really literal journey, through these cycles. But yeah, we might be feeling a little bit stifled here. Tangent over. We might be feeling a little bit stifled here with our creativity, or our ability to feel fertile or to give birth to new projects right now, or even to keep working on the projects that we have. How others see us in this situation, or what our environment dictates, is the Ace of Swords. I love aces in a reading. They're always good luck. Aces are like literally just gifts from heaven, just given to you. It's a gift of truth. It's a gift of clarity. It's a gift of a communication. Swords have to deal with air energy, and air energy is, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, ruled by the planet Mercury, which deals with communications and texting and talking and listening and information, those people that are always curious to learn and take on new activities, especially new activities with their hands. I have a friend that's been going to basket weaving classes, and I think it sounds so cool. Gemini energy rules the hands, and making gestures while you speak, speaking with your hands, speaking foreign languages, being in touch with your cousins, your neighbors. Gemini energy has to do with short distance travel, so like going up the street to hang out with some friends, or like heading over like I like to head over next door and hang out with my neighbors. I haven't had a lot of time lately, but stuff like that. That's how your environment dictates that there's going to be some sort of cutting through with the truth. Our hopes and fears is the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is a card of rest. Four of Swords is being able to have some time out. And at this time, we might hope for that and wish that we did have some time out. And at the same time, we might fear it. Because I was having, for example, in my life the other day, I was having a fear because, farming season is ramping up, and I'm physically working more than I was during the winter time, and I need to get back in shape. And so I let go of a side job that I only committed to the side job until like recently anyway, but then when the time was up, and it's like, okay, see you later, whatever, I'll probably I'll see them, but like I don't think it's going to be in the same capacity. And I was just like afraid that maybe the free time that I have now, maybe I should be hustling. I hope for the free time because I do need to rest and recuperate, absolutely, especially at my age. You know what I mean? I need to let my muscles rest. I need to let my mind rest. I need to stretch and eat really good food, like I did last night with my friend. Oh my gosh, we had such good food. But yeah, I hope for and fear rest, and maybe you can relate to what I'm saying there too, that like, yeah, you might want some time out, you might want some time to recuperate and have some peace and have some of a time out, but you also might fear it because it takes you away from your hustle and your grind, and you feel like, well, I'll make hay while the sun shines. Well, Mercury's retrograde, so we can also as a hope and a fear, we can reflect upon our need for rest and why we would hope for it or not welcome it fully. As a likely outcome, we have the Eight of Cups, and Eight of Cups is walking away from a painful situation that has held us back in the past. It's a painful emotional situation, these are patterns of behavior, many years stacked of patterns of behavior, even generational, epochs of behavior that can be, you can turn your back on at this time. The likely outcome is that we're going to turn our backs on these ingrained patterns of behavior that no longer serve us, and we again are going to. This is the moon being eclipsed right here, and so 8 is also like a Scorpio number, our likely outcome during this moon. It's interesting that we did get a lot of cards that represent Scorpio energy in this reading. This especially as the likely outcome, somebody being in touch with their own healthy root chakra and themselves enough to cloak themselves in their own protection and trust by the light of the moon that they shall follow their path, even if this path might be difficult. They know that they're not doing this anymore. They know that emotionally there must be some other cup on some other cliff on some other over the path somewhere, that they're not doing this anymore. So I think that's a really positive outcome. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, or have you been feeling these energies, of this eclipse? I know a lot of people in my life, and I also feel, I don't know, I just feel like there's areas of time sometimes when a lot of people are going through it at once, and it makes sense because sometimes when there's like a hurricane, for an example of like physical weather that we experience on Earth, like if a hurricane happens, like some people come through it all right, some people come through it like a complete disaster, and then some people come through it, feeling survivor's guilt, or they go through it seeing people around them, having a different experience than them and stuff, but still the hurricane came through. And I feel like sometimes astrologically this weather happens as well, and sometimes the physical and astrological weather even coincide, because when certain astronomical things happen in the sky, it affects the astrology, but it also affects the amount of electromagnetic energy and where it's shifted on Earth. When you have a solar or a lunar eclipse, it does change the actual physical energy here on Earth. So I would think that, especially since most of our bodies are made of water, and the moon really does have a pull on water, so there's a lot of reasons why the cycles of the moon, I feel, reflect in a collective form of energy, emotional, physical, spiritual, social, financial, or otherwise. There's a lot of good astrologers on YouTube. I love so many tarot and astrologers, and I'm really grateful for this card. I'm grateful for the cards to talk to me and you, and I'm grateful whoever tunes in and wants to find these energies with me. I thank you so much, and thank you for trusting me with your experience, and thank you for sharing your experience with me. I've had some really great readings lately, and people who I become friends with, and I really I'm enjoying the ride. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can. There's going to be links below this video in the description box. And, you know, if you're local, southeast Wisconsin area, then you'll probably hear about things that are going on. And if you see Esperanza Vence Tarot, it's me. Love you, thank you, and bless you on the full moon.